Hey there, it's Tom Graham for Envato Tuts Plus. That's exactly where you are. You're on the Envato Tuts Plus YouTube channel. It's great to have you here. Look, today's a very exciting day. I'm really happy to be making this video because the project that we've been working on has just been so much fun. You saw a little sneak peek of it at the start of this video. That's right, we made a music video for a real band. It's called Sticks and Stones by the band Damaged Goods Club, and they're a real band. They came to us and said, hey, can you please make us a music video, a lyric video? And I said, yeah, I can do that. And I'm gonna use assets from Envato Elements. So that's exactly what I've done. Everything you see in the music video is an asset from Envato Elements, except for the band photos, of course. Now, Envato Elements is a super easy to use subscription-based service that has millions of assets ready to download if you're a subscribing member. And when you download them, you can use them in your projects right away. The licensing is super simple. There's just so much great content up there. There's stock footage, photos, fonts, video templates. You're gonna see me using a heap of video templates in this video. So go and check it out. The link is in the description below. I'm going to be talking a lot about Elements throughout this video. Now, I use probably 50 to 100 assets easily in this music video that I created. I've got about 17 hours of screen recordings as well, so you probably don't need to see all of that. What I'm gonna do in this video right here is I'm going to show you how I made the music video, the lyric video for Damaged Goods Club, and how I used assets from Envato Elements. I'm going to pick 5 of my favorite sequences throughout this video, and I'll break it down a little bit as we go. You'll see my screen recordings, you'll see the process sped up a little bit, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did along the way and why I made certain decisions. It was a super fun project to put together, and it's a really good case study, I think, for how powerful Envato Elements is, that you can make an actual music video using stock assets. Can't wait to get into it. Let's look at it right now. That's right, folks, font is king, especially in a lyric video, of course in a lyric video. And this is one of the first assets that I got from Envato Elements for this project. It's called Peachy Bubbly, and it's definitely kind of the right look and feel that I'm going for this video, but more on the look and feel later on. First things first though, you'll see me just laying up some text layers here in DaVinci Resolve. This is the program that I did the bulk of the work in for this music video. I'm laying up the text over the top of the song, and I'm just doing it in the most basic, rudimentary way possible in order to begin to get a feel for where everything is sitting in the track. Seeing the lyrics represented against the peaks and troughs of the waveform was a great visual way for me to work out how to start fleshing this thing out. Plus, you kind of have to start somewhere, so I highly recommend that this is the place that you start in a music video, especially a lyric video. The next thing that you've got to do is decide on your approach. Do you have a single word on screen as it's sung, or do you have a phrase or even an entire line? For me, I knew that this clip was going to have a bit of a controlled chaos feeling to it with so many different assets, and I was very happy to mix up the placements of the words on the fly depending on what fit with the various parts of the song. You can see here I'm going through and creating a section based on a phrase, just for a little bit, and then you'll see in other sections I've gone word by word just for a completely different feel. What I'm doing here is creating a few text layers and simply writing out the lyrics for this section. So in this case, I wish I could close my eyes are the lyrics that we're working with. The reason I have 2 text layers here is because the font, Peachy Bubbly, has a shine variety as well, and you can see it just adds these little white accents to the top of the letters to give it some texture. You'll see I'm beginning to add some effects to the font layers as well, and I'm just moving things around and trying to get an idea of what sticks. It's all part of a process of trial and error until you get a bit of a clearer idea of the scope of the project and what you're ultimately building. Now that I've finished with that line, I've moved on to another section of the video that I want to use the same text effects for. So instead of doing it all from scratch again, I'm just cloning what I did previously and bringing that into the next section, simply changing the words to fit the song, as well as doing a bit of retiming. Let's play through and just see how it looks.
I wish I could close my eyes just for a little bit. Don't really wanna die, but sleep is death without the commitment.
Yes, that's right, we're into the intro segment to this music video. I think this might have been my favorite asset to work with in the whole project, as it was just so well put together. You can find this and all of the other Envato Elements assets in an Elements collection linked down below if you do want to try it out for yourself. Now, like I said, I did most of the work for this music video in DaVinci Resolve. However, I did drop into After Effects and some other programs for various sequences, and that was generally based on what asset I was working with. In this case, this is a great video template built for After Effects, so that's what I used. You can see here I'm just going through and customizing it for my needs, adding some images of the band and creating a title sequence here on the VHS tape and TV. I do go back and forward between Resolve and After Effects here, just to get the timings right. It's never an exact science working in a round trip between different programs, but with a bit of organization, it does work pretty well. When I was satisfied, I got it back into Resolve and lined it up to coincide with the beginning of the track. I knew that I wanted to have some sound effects here at the start to try and make it feel a little bit more like we actually shot something on set, and then I wanted it to go into the lyric video. And I think with this asset, it came out great. Let's check it out.
I wish I could close my eyes just for a little bit.
Alrighty, for this segment, I actually found another great asset on Elements that was built in After Effects. It's made up of individually animated letters and numbers, and I took all of those and built out the phrase that I wanted and then brought it back into Resolve. You can see here I'm crafting the words and layout in After Effects, and it's important to be thinking about how this will be laid out on the actual video during this step, otherwise you'll have to come back and forth quite a bit to make sure you get it right. The next step was to remove the color, as I wanted these letters to be white with a grey shadow, which in this case I had to do one by one. I then exported the sequence, making sure to render it with the alpha channel on so that it would be transparent in Resolve. Once that was rendered, I brought the sequence into Resolve and spent quite a bit of time finessing it to make sure it all lined up with the timing of the lyrics. And I did this using the speed ramping tools in Resolve. So I went through and I played with a bunch of the built-in video effects in DaVinci Resolve. And as I was going through, I stumbled on these radial blurs and I just thought it looked really cool. So I kept tweaking settings and trying new effects. And by the time I was done with this really simple sequence, it turned out to be probably one of my favorite looking ones in the whole piece. It has this old school kind of ska vibe to it that I really love. Now, when Kelsey from the band first approached me about doing this video, we talked a lot about the look and feel of the band. They're very stylized and have this kind of late 90s, early 2000s, millennium bug, Y2K thing going on, whilst also being a rock band. So I set out to try and find something that looked a little bit like a 90s webpage and ended up finding this asset. It also happened to be a great place to get some images of the band into the video as well. And I loved working with this asset as it was a really simple one to quickly and easily make it my own while still retaining that really stylized look. You can again see the back and forth round trip I make between After Effects and Resolve to make sure that I'm getting the timings right and that everything is lining up. What's your workflow between After Effects and Resolve like? Or maybe between Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro or After Effects or whatever it is that you're working in. Let me know in the comments how you would tackle a project like this. I'm really interested to know what other people would do. So whilst I was creating these two webpage sequences, I realized that there was this gap in the middle that said, "but hey," which I really liked. Because it was so quick, I decided to just bring out the peachy bubbly text again into that section and again played around with some inbuilt effects and some background assets from Elements to see if I could come up with something fun. And that I did. I love this little call out. It adds a great little moment of reprieve between the two sickly sweet, but great, webpage elements and punches out visually the same way that the "but hey" lyrics punch out in the song. Little happy accidents, you love to see it. Alrighty, so this is the last segment in the roundup, and I think maybe the last segment I made for the video. I had one little section yet that I hadn't built anything for, and I wanted to have a black and white section to kind of break up the really in-your-face color party that was happening in the rest of the video. This was just such a good, quick and easy video template that I found, and you could see here how quick it was to customize to my needs. Swap my text out, render it, and then bring it back into the video while still retaining a really high level of production quality and ultimately adding heaps to the overall project. I had to do a little tweaking to retime things in Resolve, but this one worked out nice and was super straightforward. So there you go, it's as easy as that. Well, not as easy as that, it did take me about a week to create, but it's pretty simple to be able to pull a whole bunch of assets from Envato Elements together, random assets, and bring them together as one coherent piece of work. This was so much fun. Thank you so much to the band for trusting me and letting me run with this. It was heaps of fun. I think the dancing skeletons are my crowning achievement of my career so far. Now, if you want to do this as well, make sure you click the link below to jump into Envato Elements today, get a subscription, download to your heart's content, and start pulling things together for yourself and see what you can make. I had so much fun making this. That's what it's all about. Creating videos should be a heap of fun. So yeah, jump in today, see what you can pull together. Let us know in the comments what you were able to do with Envato Elements. Anyway, go and support the band as well. Check out the full video over on their channel. The link will be in the description below. I think it's also on our channel as well. So watch it anywhere you can get your eyes on it. This project has been heaps of fun, so thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something from it. Until next time, happy editing.